My name is Jim Pappas and I am on an adventure to find the ultimate cheesesteak. I have eaten over 800 different cheesesteaks on my journey, and I've learned that every Philadelphian has a cheesesteak story. Biting into a cheesesteak is a flashback to tailgating at a Birds game, the back of Mom's station wagon, or Dad's favorite spot. To some, a cheesesteak is a roll, meat, and cheese, but to me, a cheesesteak is passion. Every cheesesteak I eat gets graded on my 5-category 100-point scoring system. I've narrowed my list down to the top 16 cheesesteaks in the Philadelphia region. We are the city of brotherly love. Join me on the Philadelphia Cheesesteak Adventure as I answer the ultimate question: who has the best cheesesteak? We are at the Stonehouse Grill in Kimberton, PA. Today we are judging the Other Counties region for Philadelphia Cheesesteak Adventure Cheesesteak Madness. The Other County region is the northern and western counties of Philadelphia. Tony Joe's Great House of Eats, Tony G's South Philly Style Pub and Eatery, VINCI'S Brick Oven Pizza, and Sly Fox Brewery and Eatery. I score the cheesesteaks using a 5-category 100-point scoring system. Each category is worth 20 points. The categories are the roll, meat, cheese, extras, and overall experience. The judges are Amigo Dan Matassino.
This goes down to the bread, the meat, the cheese.
And he's eaten over 100 cheesesteaks with me. Mark Twersky is a corporate chef.
It was tasty, texture-wise was good.
For one of the larger restaurants in Philadelphia. And Diane Farina is our smart judge.
It doesn't smell like a traditional cheesesteak.
Also the hardest grading judge. Today we're starting out with Tony Joe's Great House of Eats from Bucktown. He's facing off another Tony, Tony G's South Philly Style Pub and Eatery.
This place is Tony Joe's. We were established in March of 2016. It's a fun place. We're a little hidden gem. Fresh food, great service, great beer, a place where people who come in, they're not just customers, they're friends. We get a lot of support from the community, a lot of regulars. Food is the highest quality we can get. The cheesesteaks, 100% fresh beef, chop it up real nice and thin, American cheese, fried mushrooms, and fried onions on fresh rolls that we receive every morning. Nice and fluffy, a little crunchy on the outside, but nice fluffy roll with the hot, thin cheesesteak. Very traditional. They make you feel like you're at home. They're fresh, and it is a comfort food, big comfort food. We truly care, and we get like the best, highest quality product that we can.
Tony G's Pub and Eatery started out as Frank's Pub 41 years ago, and when my dad decided to retire a little bit, he let me take over, and I turned it into more of a pub and eatery, and it just gradually improved. Tony G's is actually named after my little brother who's special needs, and I wanted to name the business after him, and it just got that special neighborhood, family feel. I definitely know a good cheesesteak. You gotta use a good roll, good meat, and good cheese. We use that New York American. We season with a little salt and pepper and butter. We mix everything up. A lot of people use oil on the grill. Oil on the grill, it's bland. We put a little bit of butter on the grill, and that just gives it a better taste. We're the underdog, I think. You never know. Could be a big upset. I think we got one of the best in the area.
It's a Tony Throwdown. Tony Joe's Great House of Eats.
Good seasoning. The meat is delicate, very, very cheesy. I've got mushrooms and onions. That's what I look for in a cheesesteak.
The meat has actually got good flavor to it. A little bit of black pepper that he's put on there. I like the mushrooms and the onions. The cheese is going throughout.
It looks really cheesy. There's some big onions. I like a more finely chopped. I like the quality of the steak. It's not a lot of gristle, it's not fatty.
It's very well made, very good ingredients.
Got that stroganoff kind of style sauce. It's this creamy, meaty sauce from the American cheese that's mixed with the juices.
Yeah, a lot of good stuff made well together.
All right, Tony G's. Nicely seated, but what I'm attracted to is the meat looks great. That's my style of meat. Pretty thinly shaved, chopped.
It's packed in there.
That's easy.
There's a lot of cheese. A lot of cheese.
But I like the chopped meat. It's flavorful. The onions. Could have spent a little bit more time on the grill, I think.
The biggest takeaway for me on this cheesesteak is the roll. It feels a little bit like white bready, almost.
It's funny because I feel like I'm eating a nice doughy sesame seed bagel. It almost has that content, which I like.
If in fact they're fresh mushrooms, I feel bad. They come off as canned. They're very blonde in color.
Do you have something against blonde?
Not at all.
It's got a good flavor, but I think the flavor I'm getting from this one, I think, is coming from the sesame seeds and the cheese
Both were enjoyable cheesesteak. Tony Joe's perfectly executed basic cheesesteak. No frills. Tony G's, the seeded roll. I felt the roll ate a little bit like a hamburger bun almost. I'm gonna give my selection to Tony Joe's.
So the meat on both of them, done nice, good meat, good amount. What it's coming down to for me is going to be the cheese and the roll. So with Tony Joe's, that roll held up and the cheese was mixed in, which gave the thing moisture, which was nice. And then you had the Conshohocken roll, which is a good tasting roll and it holds up or whatever. It needed to be cooked. So, you know what? I think my nod is going to go to Tony.
Which
Joe.
Even though that it wasn't chopped the way that I like it, the Tony Joe's, it was a nicer cheesesteak experience.
I think when it comes down to me is the bigger mushrooms on Tony Joe's, but they're sauteed, so they had a nice flavor versus Tony G's where they were smaller and undercooked. I agree with you guys. That it is Tony Joe's today, but I think it's just that small little, a couple more minutes on the grill where the mushrooms with Tony G's might have been a big difference. First up in this match is Sly Fox Brewhouse and Eatery in Phoenixville is against the VINCI'S Brick Oven Pizza from Feasterville.
We are at the Sly Fox in Phoenixville, Pennsylvania. We opened up here in 1995. It's my family's business. So my father, my grandfather, and his siblings, and we started making beer in this original brew system that we have, a 15-barrel brew house. And for just 7 years, we were just a restaurant with its own brewery. As a massive cheesesteak fan, I can tell you this is an unbelievable cheesesteak because it is a smoked prime rib cheesesteak. Sometimes when I feel like when you order something that's smoky, it's like, oh, it kind of has a hint of smoke. Absolutely not. Like this thing, I can smell it from here.
We put about an hour of it in the oven to get color. Then after it goes into our smoker for 1 hour of smoke.
It's amazing. It's full of flavor.
We do not chop the meat. It's already beautiful, tender ribeye. There's absolutely no point in chopping it.
The bread is phenomenal.
Baker Street bread rolls. The time on the flat top like that gets a chance for the roll to steam, for the cheese to melt, and the edges of the roll get that butter and the fat from the meat. We're trying to do everything from scratch, and we're trying to do it the right way. You get good ingredients, you take care of them, and they take care of themselves after that.
It's an amazing cheesesteak all around. It's one of the best I've ever had. I know the judges are experts. I think they have good taste, and I think if you try this cheesesteak versus others, I think it's got a shot to go really far.
Leonardo's Italian Bakery and Da Vinci's Brick Oven Pizzeria. We've been in business 24 years now. We started out as a bakery, and 14 years later, here we are talking about cheesesteaks. We make our own dough, we make our own bread, we do everything from scratch here. Like they say, it starts with the bread. As long as you have good bread, your sandwich is gonna come out pretty good. We use our ribeye steak with American cheese. We try to use the top of the line meats and cheeses. We don't marinate it or anything like that. We just give it a little bit of salt, pepper, cheese, let it melt through and put it on a roll. I use fresh caramelized the onions. And as far as the mushrooms go, we cook them in with the steak. If you just whip it together and expect it to be done in 2 seconds, you're not blending your flavors and you're not getting a good cheesesteak. A little love, tender loving and care is right. But that's what we try to do here. We love what we do. Makes me very happy that after 24 years, we're finally getting recognized for other than our breads. We've seen places come and go, and we're still here.
Sly Fox Brewhouse and Eatery.
This doesn't look like your basic cheesesteak.
It doesn't smell like a traditional cheesesteak. It definitely smells like it has some bacon, barbecue. The cheese, I'm not getting that much cheese on mine.
Oh, it's almost like some type of pork flavor. I don't know if it's the barbecue or
A smoke.
and a smoke something.
It's bready. I mean, you can tell it was toasted. It's got that little crisp exterior, but the middle is not as chewy as it is just kind of dense.
It's a new spin on an old cheesesteak. You know, how do you take the cheesesteak and put it up to your level? And this is their vision of that. Da Vinci's Brick Oven Pizza.
Before I even took a bite, I like the size of the mushrooms. They're small, but they look like they've got some sear on them. The onions are in there. You can tell they've cooked for a while. That first bite, a little bit dry.
The roll has got a really, really nice flavor to it. And there you go. It shows up on being your own bakery, supplying your own bread. I think this is a really, really good cheesesteak.
He definitely sautés his mushrooms and onions And they spend some time on the grill together with the meat. It's pretty tasty.
Everything else on here is good, even the bottom half of it. You know, it's just the top half needs to get some of that cheese up there. And, but it's always, you know, it's always something.
Two good cheesesteaks. You know, the Sly Fox was a little bit different. We talked about the fact that he smokes the ribeye there. I almost felt like it was a steak sandwich as opposed to a cheesesteak. Da Vinci's, it's a big cheesesteak. American cheese, a little bit more traditional from what Sly Fox did.
Sly Fox, the meat was good, the mushrooms, putting everything together was a little difficult for me, and the same thing with the cheese. Then you have Da Vinci's. Big, heavy, I like the meat, I like the mushrooms. The only thing that I would say is, and it seems to be prevalent in this competition, about the cheese being on the bottom.
Both were a little dry for me. The Sly Fox was really good. It had like a smoky, you know, barbecue brisket flavor to it, which I thought was interesting. It was more of like a specialty cheesesteak. Da Vinci's has that traditional cheesesteak flavor. I mean, the mushrooms and onions spent time on the grill. I liked their roll. Their roll was very tasty. But I think that if I was gonna have to pick between the two, I was gonna have to say that it goes to Da Vinci.
I also am gonna go with Da Vinci.
I also picked Da Vinci.
I just think it's wonderful about how you guys talk so well and eloquently about cheesesteaks and food and how wrong you are on so many levels.
Yes.
No, I agree 1,000%. The Da Vinci's very traditional, very well made, cut mushrooms on the grill, fried onions. They've mixed all their flavors together. But they missed on the cheese. Here we are, the finals of the Other Counties region. We have Tony Joe's House of Great Eats versus Da Vinci's Brick Oven Pizza.
Da Vinci executed very well, missed on the cheese, and so therefore, you know, I'm giving it to Tony Joe's. Tony Joe's, for me, was an absolutely perfect cheesesteak. It happened to be a traditional cheesesteak, but it was executed really flawlessly.
I mean, you know, this goes down to the bread, the meat, the cheese, how it was built. So I think that for majority of people, you know, hey, where do you get a really good cheesesteak, classic, instead of basic, classic? That's what I'd have to say about Tony Joe's.
And Da Vinci's is a nice one as well, but I think that Tony Joe's just executed everything perfectly. I mean, the fundamentals of it, the meat, the cheese, the extras like onions and mushrooms that you're adding to that. With the roll, I think Tony G's is like nailed it. He's not saying that, you know, Da Vinci's had great components to it. They make their own roll. They did, you know, spend time with their mushrooms and onions on the grill. Just didn't have the cheese throughout it.
I would categorize Tony Joe's House of Great Eats as a top date night cheesesteak because he does put a little more effort into it, because he does have the sauteed mushrooms. He has some little niceties in there that you find in a nicer restaurant type cheesesteak. With Da Vinci's making his own roll. What they do best for a cheesesteak, they put their own little spin on it. The winner of the Other Counties region for the Philadelphia Cheesesteak Adventure Cheesesteak Madness is Tony Joe's House of Great Eats. They'll be going up against Cleavers from the Philadelphia region in the Final Four.